Hey guys, it's Katie Moten here with Colletta Street Capital, and today we are going to be talking about Know Your Paper. So but first, there's a big thing that Colletta Street wants to tell you about. We just purchased a note last week. We funded it in Conway, South Carolina. This is a picture from a week ago, so it's looking pretty good for it is a vacant home, which is good and bad. We were able to have the realtor get in, go up to the windows and take pictures through as many windows as they could possibly can, and it looks beautiful inside, which is always a great thing. So we boarded it, insured it, and started planning for our borrower outreach with our servicer and what we were going to do. And right now we're just waiting for the hard collateral file. So this is a great thing about keeping boarding with the same servicer where you purchased it. So we are keeping it with the same servicer, and it literally got boarded within a day, which is really exciting. And in the note world, that never happens. And we're getting the hard collateral file. It's in the mail right now. So we will get it tomorrow is what it's supposed to get in here. So that'll be 8 days. We will have the hard collateral file. So a big difference so we highly suggest, if you don't despise a servicer. It depends on where the note is too, but if you don't despise the servicer, keeping it there, because it allows you to start moving forward a lot faster in the servicing world. So I know other notes that it takes a month, 2 months, sometimes even to get the hard collateral file so that you can record it and start doing that outreach. So in the long run, it might be worth the money to pay a little bit more for a more expensive servicer if you can board it within like a week, right? And since this house is vacant and the owners have moved out, they've been gone for about a year, we know that we're going to be moving fast with this, right? Most likely they're not going to reinstate or anything like that. So just really exciting. So as soon as we get that hard collateral file, we're going to record it and actually start the borrower outreach, which is great because I've already researched Conway. And we can e-file to record it, which is great. And so I've already set up an account with, I think, Simplifile. So the county website told me exactly what program they connect with, which is great, because then I can set up an account and I have everything ready. So the moment we get that hard collateral file, I can scan everything and do everything exactly like I'm supposed to and submit it right away. And so just doing that preparation while we're waiting for the hard collateral file to come in so that I have the account ready, which is great too. So big exciting news for us is with that note. I went to my first RIA meeting. So this is the whole theme of this video, really, is Know Your Paper. So I went to my first RIA meeting last week, and the speaker was a foreclosure lawyer in Carson City. And he actually represents the borrowers. And I know there's not a lot of notes in Nevada in general. One really big thing I learned is don't buy a note in Nevada, especially if it's going to go towards foreclosure. Nevada is a very borrower-friendly state, and they also have mediation, which is great if the borrower really wants to work towards mediation. Bad if it's just a stall tactic, and they can use it as a stall tactic. So this lawyer says that 99% of the time he can stop a foreclosure or at least postpone a foreclosure from anywhere from 1 month to several years. And he said mostly it's due to the paper, so bad paper. And I knew what he was talking about, but there are a lot of the people he kept talking about, like, know your paper. You want good paper, not bad paper. Make sure you're investing in good paper. And finally, all these hands started shooting up in the meeting, and people were like, what do you mean paper? And so it was really cool because I actually felt like I knew the answers to the questions that the people were asking. But he talked a lot about the differences between an assignment and a launch, which I knew there was a difference, but I never knew the complete difference. And he really talked about the difference between a mortgage and a note and how different they are. And I guess Nevada just tried their first foreclosure case where two different owners, so someone owned the mortgage and someone had the assignment, and someone had the launch, so they had the note, and they couldn't go through with the foreclosure until these two people became one. So one person had to buy the other person out and own both the assignment and the launch in order to foreclose on the property. And so very interesting. He talked a lot about We all record the assignment, but no one records the allonge, and sometimes you don't even get an allonge. And how important it is to make sure that you have an allonge, and how important it is to have a chain of allonges. So if there's a break in it, is where he can, he says there's always going to be, he's like, he can always find a break. So he said to make sure that you really know the chain of assignments and the chain of allonges, and make sure there's no break in them. So that's a big thing that I learned, was really know your paper, right? Know that paper in order to make a good investment so that you have good paper. And another way to really have good paper and know is through your title search, right? So you do the O&E once their bid is accepted, or if it's countered, that's when you pull the O&E, right? So, and you get the title search. So I've noticed there's a lot of questions on some of the Facebook note investing pages. So, and I want to thank Frank Fiore. I hope I'm saying that right, Frank. He responded with a lot of quoting from this book, from Bulletproof Title Due Diligence. And so that made me say, oh, do we have that book? And so I asked Chris, because Chris actually was at a conference a few months ago and asked me if we had this book. And I told him no. So I assumed he was buying it or getting it. And so last week I asked him where it was, and he went and found it. He actually got it from Alex himself. He was at a conference, and Alex had his booth for Pro Title, and he was handing out his book. So Chris unfortunately didn't get it signed, which I was a little disappointed. But we do have the book. So we started reading it to really understand and knowing your paper, and knowing what different title searches you can get and title reports you can get, and how to read them. And so one of them is knowing your paper and seeing that assignments, that chain of assignments in the title report. The other is looking for all those different liens and what those liens mean. And so his book is just a wealth of knowledge. So I highly recommend it if you are an investor in notes and are dealing with anything where you have to pull the title and look at it, to get this book to help you along the way. So that's my big know your paper, know what you're getting invested in, and know that not chain of command. I keep wanting to say chain of command. You want to know that chain of assignments, and also the allonges. And I assumed everyone got allonges, but I talked to another note investor, and he said some of his notes he doesn't have. They didn't give him an allonge when he bought it. So he's actually going to go back and get them after hearing what I learned from this lawyer. And we all know that no one wants to be stuck in a foreclosure. And prolonged. It's only a waste of your money, right? So really preparing yourself and knowing what you're looking into, and knowing what you have and what you need to do to move forward. If you haven't checked us out, you can watch us. We were guest hosts on Scott Carson's The Note Closer Show a few months back, and we were episode 281, 284, and 290. So you can either watch us on our YouTube or Scott's YouTube, or if you just want to listen to it, you can go to iTunes and the Note Closer Show podcast and listen to it. Also, a long time ago, we were episode 180. We were interviewed when we first started the note business. Scott Carson interviewed us. So that's also on YouTube. You can watch us being interviewed, or you can listen to it on iTunes. So go check us out if you want to know more about, just getting some videos. Two of them are great for marketing, whether you're in notes or not. They're just about marketing. So the 290 and the 284 are all about just marketing in general. They don't really have anything to do with notes. I mean, we use them in notes, but you could use them in any business that you want. As always, please contact us if you want to know more about Colletta Street, or what we're doing, or what we're up to. If you want to know about notes in general, give us a call at 775-525-1222, or you can even text us at that number, or email us at katie@collettastreet.com or chris@collettastreet.com, or you can connect with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or our webpage, collettastreet.com. We hope to hear from you, and happy note hunting.